stappen sicheren aan boord indem ze zien.
En waar is dat voor? Ja, die ogen al gitterlijk uit de lucht. Dat zat zo'n brand. Ja, dat zat erboven. Ik versteek het niet.
Waarom hebben ze de week ook fout gemaakt? Op de donker weer was, vond ik ook niet goed gekeken.
Dat is ook één keer.
Zij hebben zich ook... Ja, boven van.
Dit is Adrie hier. Adrie, komt er een smelk aan? Waar ik naartoe kijk, komt daar een smelk aan? Ik kan er niet vanaf, want hij is nog verder.
Kijk, zie jij de vuurtoren in je bent?
Kijk, daar is hij. Ja, die kant op. Even kijken wat, ja, rechts van de vuurtoren heel hoog. Een meter van de vuurtoren.
En nou glijdt hij?
Nou glijdt hij.
Nou vliegt hij.
Is het te groot?
Ja, maar meer veel in de zijde.
Ja, deze denk ik. Nou, die zit tussen de... Nee, heel veel.
Hout. Ja, klaar. En nou, wat we dit waren, Aalschool.
41. Ja, 44? Is dat verschil daar nog in?
42 schrijf ik ja. Wie?
Dit geïnformeerd voor jou.
Ja? Paul die prikt de gaatjes in op de filmpje, dan weet ik precies hoe het gaat.
Voorjaar al geboekt, zo gauw het bekend wordt. Heel wat we moeten bellen voordat dat voor elkaar was. Dan moest ik weer een ander nummer hebben.
dat gelopen. Toen was die spoorlijn nog oud. Toen was het helemaal begroeid en kon je makkelijk lopen. Maar toen nu waren we er, dan hadden ze die spoorlijn opgehoogd. Of van die grove, scherpe keien erop. Die hele weg. En dat was de fout.
3 kwartier toen we wilden weer. Iedereen leeg met een lange ei.
Het is een stuurloos schip gewoon. Ja,
Frank, kom je er ook even bij? Dan gaan we even de strategie voor de rest van de dag bespreken. Even de strategie voor de...
Oh ja. Ja.
Daar rollen ze goed, daar rollen ze goed. Ja, ze zegt steeds meer vast. Wat is er, meid? Goedemorgen, goedemorgen hoor. Goedemiddag.
Ja, dan vet goed, het vliegbeeld.
Deze is lager.
Ja, mooi hè.
Oh, hier komt er nog een.
Heel mooi hè.
Ja,
Nog één. Ja.
Dit was de koude.
Mooi hè.
Maar die hebben vol een borrel. Ja, nee, heeft hij die boven. Dus die ga
Ja, maar in een kijkje verkeerd.
Ja.
Ik zag ze wel op vliegen.
Nee. Mooi hoor, echt waar. Dat heb je niet voor de hand. Hier heb je geen banden niet. Heb je dat?
Hele blokken schors. Zeg, hele blokken schors. Nou zie ik inderdaad, hij is bovenop de stuin.
Nou, misschien komt hij dan gewoon deze kant uit. Daarom.
Dat hoor ik hem ook nog nooit gezien.
Moet je wel ondersteunen, Jan. Schietgeweer.
Ik heb al gezien.
Ja.
Heel goed. En hij heeft zo'n knoer van de snavel.
Ja, dan heeft een auto nodig om een auto te kraken.
Ja.
Volgende keer moeten we noten meebrengen.
Kijk, kijk. Want dan zit je er bij die vuur.
Vuurtoren met daarbij het Vogelringstation.
This is the light garden then, where we put up around 21 nets in the same place, if it's possible to do it depending on the weather. We also have another area in the reed beds. I don't know whether you've been there.
Yeah, yesterday we saw it.
Yeah, where we also have 20 to 25, 21 nets. And the season starts the same, 21st of July in both areas. And we are actually, the reed bed area will finish by the end of this month. So therefore, these warblers in the reed beds are late this year. And yesterday, for instance, they caught 111 birds in the reed beds, and 45 and 40, that's 85 birds of them were reed warblers and sedge warblers, these two species. And that's very important. So we will have a link to the right of them, all the way down to Africa. So we can probably check that. Keep the eye to the right ear, or keep the sound to the right ear, and so you have basically the right direction to go. And now the latest thing they have found is that they have a compass in the head. Some people think that even man has that, but we have ceased to use it, so it's not so obvious anymore. We may call that the sixth sense. Anyway, what we know they can feel is, first of all, if they have a compass needle in their head, more or less, they can of course feel where north is. Now, I suppose everybody knows what this bird is. Starting yesterday, actually, the main migration started yesterday for these birds here. And yesterday, as I said, was the first day when we got adult robins. This is a juvenile bird, which probably, this is what we call, what they do when they're scared. If a raptor, a sparrowhawk for instance, is trying to catch, several birds can release, especially thrushes, and this is actually a small thrush, can release their belly feathers in order to distract an attacking sparrowhawk. So I guess it believes I'm a raptor. I don't know. So all the birds are actually photographed where we know the ages in order to find new age criteria. And one thing which we look at is the iris color, which have shown, well, many species will actually change color with age. So now we know that if you're born with a gray iris, gray brownish iris, the birds that are about 1 year old will have a brown iris, and it's turning red for the second year when you're 2 years old. And so therefore we could actually add an extra age class by looking at the iris for several species. And this is the molting border, which will tell us also this is a juvenile bird from this year. Different species you find this molt border in different places of the wing. Okay, when it comes to robins, there's another old clue too, and that's looking in the bill. The inside of the upper mandible is yellow. On an adult bird, at least a bird that is 2 years old, it will have the same color as the outside. And several of the thrushes, the smaller thrushes, will show the same thing. Like, for instance, windchats, always with the figures of the ring upwards. Now, rings are worn, so old birds with an aluminum ring, like this one, it may be hard to read actually the figures and on the ring. So, you know, like zeros and sixes and nines and ones can be read upside down too, and eights. So therefore it's important that we know that you should look at the ring this way when you read it. Now this didn't come on real nicely, so we always use a pair of. Sometimes we get bird that are actually pretty badly ringed, in the sense that there's a gap in the ring, which means that actually a bird could hop on the ground and get caught in a grass straw, whatever, and get caught there. So it's really important that it's closed in a good sense. Fly away sometimes, or even other birds, they will sort of drag the leg behind them. Oh, it's heavier. Pull it in. And also, they can also sit in a tree starting to pick at the ring. And then after a while realizing, I'm not going to get this off. Or it's just probably pure joy that, I get ringed. Now, the second thing we do, it used to be, well, not very many birds get ringed. Gets a ring. Traditionally, ringers only were interested in where do the birds fly in the winter. So they put a ring on and said robin and then released it. Now we take a lot of more measurements because there are other questions raised, especially where do they come from, and we know that the same species from different areas have different sizes or mean sizes, for instance. Now we want to check how fat this bird is, and the best way to do that, and the only way we know to do it, that is to blow at the feathers here, blow away them so you can see the belly. Now feathers are not grown all over the body of a bird. It has certain areas it grows, and then they just come over, so it looks like it's covered with feathers. So if you blow a bird between the legs and up on the belly, you can see how much fat it has. Usually the belly of a bird is red for the same reason as our lips are red. If it's not fat, you can see the intestines. Three different categories. You may not call it three classes, 3 different classes, but it's not number 1, 2, and 3 on this 8 scale. First of all, this is not a 0. This may be a 1, as it says, where you can see small amounts of fat between the intestines. Up here. So this is a good way for the bird to lie. It's a perfect way. It's because it can't lie in any other way. I'm sure it would otherwise. So we use this kind of measuring instrument, and this one turns out to be 20.7. Now this is not 0 for the bag.
How much fat does it have? If it's 16 grams.
This I would say is probably a category 3. It's not very fat. It's a 2 or 3. I can see 3 intestines, and I can see the class was not good enough, so you had to find new clues in order to separate this big class. In the early stages, it's very good relationship, but later on, when it's really fat, it's harder to find new. So you know that really fat birds pass around like warblers that have doubled their weight more or less. Fat class 8 or 7, which we find a lot of relationship to total size of a bird, is the wing length. And what we actually measure is the length of the hand, you may call it, from the wing, from the bend of the wing to the tip of the hand, or primary. And we use maximum wing chord, it's called, where you press the wings against this ruler and stretch it out a little bit to see how long it is. And this one is 75 millimeters. But this is the first day we get more of. Tough little guy.
Leuk hè? Het is ook niks over.
Oh nee, dan doe je het goud aan. Ja. Zo'n ding. Het is ook niks ook.
Very small.
Yes.
But it's still tough.
Even weg met die
Yeah,
vinger.
you had a calming sense for this bird. So now by aging these birds and by telling the sexes, of course in the end we may find that differences between where females go and